There's a lot of content warnings for all of this, by the way. There's like a lot of them.
You're not going to get good arguments here. Is this behavior going to win us more trans rights? Is their behavior actually going to actively help trans liberation? No. It's just posting and bigotry. Oh, Sondsol makes sure to play copyright music during the points where he talks about fesh and I, so the VOD is muted. He's also disabled clips.
Damn.
Coward.
There is absolutely a line here, like, I don't care how much I hate people, like, there's still people. There's still just a line of how you treat people.
This is the crap Destiny does. This is the crap that every reactionary who pretends to be at all liberal or left does.
Yeah, any kid who's ever been made fun of knows that this shit's not a joke.
True.
I don't care what the other person tries to say. No, it's not a joke, and it's not okay.
Hey everyone. So, if you had asked me 2 days ago if I was going to be covering this, the answer to that would have been no, because I didn't know what was happening.
Yeah, yep. Pretty
Lady
much
Galgana,
is.
thank you so much for the tier 1 sub. Just made a Mastodon account. Based.
Nice.
So, what are we talking about today? I don't know what or how to pronounce this particular person's handle online. So I'm going to intentionally probably mispronounce it. Uncle Gumball, thank you so much for the gifted tier 1 sub to King Li Shu, brews coffee and bakes muffins for chat. Based. So here goes. The situation is thus. There is a person online who is a streamer by the name of Sondsol. I don't know if that's how that's pronounced. I refuse to learn. Sondsol is a person I've seen around the internet space on Twitter. Zena has been lucky enough to avoid that toxic hellscape. Went to Mastodon instead. I don't know much about Sondsol's politics. Seems kind of libby. He also kind of seems like a massive transphobe. And is kind of bad faith, like a mofo. And the reason I say that is that over the last couple weeks, there's been some really weird stuff going on.
Yep.
Now, if this had never come to come on our lap, then the reality is that it probably wouldn't have said anything. But then I got contacted by a friend, fellow trans woman, Lady Raincloud, who had, wanted to talk to me because of my expertise. She had concerns about the fact that this person was saying some incredibly dumb stuff online, and she was afraid that this would have very demonstrable effects in real life. Now, one nice thing about that conversation is that her big concern was that CPS would come and take her kid because Sondsol's community, which we're going to look at in a moment, was making the argument that that should happen because apparently they made their parasocial daddy mad. Or she had made their parasocial daddy mad. Excuse me, please. Got to keep everybody, straight. Well, not straight. You know what I mean. Anyway. So I was able to, console her a little bit and be really clear, again, due to my expertise, that CPS is, generally speaking, not really going to involve itself unless there is suspicion of abuse. Now, if I hear something that sounds like suspicion of abuse, I have to call no matter what. I'm a mandated reporter. But nothing here sounds like that. There sounds like there would have to be some sort of issue in regards to this, because the context, as I understand it, was that Ohio is attempting to pass its own Don't Say Gay bill. And Raincloud was concerned that this would mean that if she didn't send her child to school, that would someone contact CPS. Now, obviously, there would be more issues with that than just contacting CPS.
Well, and there were fears about, if her kid had to go to school in like a really toxic atmosphere, right?
Yeah, because the kid is gender nonconforming.
Yeah.
Right?
What would that be like, right? Like, that would be awful. So
I said homeschooling as well, but again, I want to be really clear with CPS.
Yeah.
Just because someone files a CPS report does not mean they always follow up on it. There has to be actual means and grounds to do so. The other thing is, even if CPS does get involved, at least in my experience, is that usually their big goal is, unless there is real bad abuse, they almost never take a kid directly out of a home. In fact, most times what I've seen is they work with the parents, taking them through parenting classes and things like that to find a better way to interact with the kid. They generally try to keep families together because that is the most effective way to generally deal with these things, except in cases of very severe abuse, in which case they'll do like emergency pulls, things like that. None of that sounds relevant to Lady Raincloud. So, I was hopefully able to kind of explain to her a little bit more how CPS works as somebody who's had to make contact and calls and also, have conversations with social workers on the phone about it. And that seems like something that was, pretty effective. However, I did start looking at the data about what actually happened here. And the overall trend of behavior this person has shown, Sondsol, is kind of gross because Lady Raincloud is not the only target of his malice. As we're going to find out, he has organized a hate campaign against a xenogender person, as well as decided to do what I will call a dramatic reading of a fanfic involving our favorite fesh, in which the fesh is ended. Trying to avoid that stuff. Yeah.
There's a lot of content warnings for all of this, by the way. There's like a lot of them.
Yeah. Be careful with yourselves.
Also, please, I would like people to pause on talking about CPS. I know it comes up sometimes, but it can definitely be a lot of triggering stuff right away during a segment. So,
yeah, people get odd about CPS because there's times CPS has been used inappropriately. Parents try to weaponize it. We're not getting into that conversation. Drop it. The reality is that there's nothing in that situation with Lady Raincloud that suggests to me that there should be any kind of contact. If they're felonious, there are ways to deal with that. Not to mention she can just sue the state. So, moving on. Why are we bringing this up? Because anytime somebody starts acting out in a way that I think is harmful to trans people or people that I care about.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And we care about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The issue is that I think that should be spoken up about. Whether I know all the actors involved. Now, let's look at this stuff. This is the context, from my understanding, according to Lady Raincloud, of the conversation that was had about this situation, specifically this law being changed. Tell me if this sounds off, folks.
And I'm not letting you abuse me. I'm not letting your community abuse me. I'm not going to sit and know that the chat is saying cruel and hateful things about me.
Yep.
And to be honest, I think the thing that is where I'm at now is I had to sit last night and have a conversation with my 9-year-old, right? Mm-hmm. Sondsol, this is where I've been getting at with this type of stuff. Sondsol and these types of people that are this political debate lord brain rot, mm-hmm. they so care about being an advocate and an ally. Except I wonder when the last time they cried themselves to sleep was because they had to sit and have a conversation with their 9-year-old who came home and said, "Mama, I think I want to be a boy." And my response had to be, "Honey, that's fantastic. We can talk about that. We can explore that. But unfortunately, this state says that you're not allowed to do that."
Which state? Well, oh yeah.
Right?
You're in Ohio.
Yeah. It's not going well. It's getting very, very red very, very quickly here, right?
I can tell.
They don't care about people, about human beings. There's no compassion. There's no empathy, right? And I'm the same kind of, and on the same kind of thing, they care about hypocrisy of it all, right? Where they talk about, oh, you need to come in love and peace, but let me completely invalidate your entire existence. And when you tell me to go fuck myself, haha, tolerant left, you can.
So real quick, this is what prompted some of these behaviors. This is a trans woman talking about her child who is gender nonconforming. And let me be really clear that the responses given were real gross.
Yep.
Now, I want to point out there is a first off, let's talk about this person. This Alex Gunter, I know nothing about this person. What a Chad. Just attractive looking guy. Moving on. I also want to talk about this person. You guys may or may not be able to see them in chat. You can. Is it Arbelin or someone else? Oh, excuse me. It's 1X Draws. They said Sondsol and others place the blame of societal oppression on the most vulnerable instead of the oppressive systems. This is the crux of the issue. Paste.
Yeah.
So this, and please correct me if I'm wrong, was Sondsol's formal response. All right? This was his formal response.
Just like the amount of times I've actively not fucked with Lady Rain for her to constantly fuck with me. I have no sympathy. Her kid can get fucking taken from her if the CPS is finding that she's doing child abuse. Maybe it's the fucking thing that she told me in our last conversation, where she said that she doesn't think that her child should go to school, right? Maybe her child just hasn't been going to school, and that's why CPS is going after her. But who fucking knows? No, it's not you that made me mad.
Notice the weird framing on that.
Well, it's switched, right?
Yeah.
Does anybody know why CPS is going after her?
No one said this. This was given as a hypothetical.
Is it school shit?
So this is, by its definition, disturbing. So my understanding is that any mention of CPS in this regard was in a hypothetical of not wanting to send a gender nonconforming child to school for fear of harassment and because the kid would not be allowed to express themselves because of the future potential Don't Say Gay bill. This person, who is queer to my knowledge, as far as I can tell, as far as I know, is at least a lib, maybe I'm wrong on that, just advocated for a trans woman to lose her child for no other reason than she bothered him. You can see him down in the...
insinuated that there was even an investigation already going on, right? Changing the narrative.
You guys can't see him because I'm in the way, but you look at him, he's just salty. You guys can see this picture. It'll be, this link will be in things. But yeah, this guy is salty. Like, it's just basically him saying, she made me mad, so I want her to be harmed in the real world. Now, I want to be really clear. There are times where that is necessary. This is not one of them. I'll be clear. I have generally condemned anybody who tried to engage in real-world harm against lots of people. I condemned it when people went after a friend of mine for allegations. I condemned it when people went after Riley Grace Rashong's legal license. I have condemned it in every way, shape, or form because at the end of the day, we all hold mobs. That's what being a content creator is. You have a mob of people and you can't control them. Even if 99% of your community never acts out or does anything wrong, that 1% may, just as on a lark, decide to contact CPS, and that fucks with a person's life. The idea, Virathandy says in chat, they will always find a reason to take our children away from us. True. So this person, just in this, is not an ally. Because this is, by its nature, disturbing in its utter inability to understand what was just said. The fact that this person could say this with a straight face and think that this is a good idea. I want to be really clear. When people think of debate lords, debate bros, they usually think of Voosh. And guess what? Again, not to focus on Voosh. Thank you, Lauren, for subscribing. I don't ever hear Voosh say to go after people's real lives. I don't even hear I don't hear Dylan Burns do that. I don't hear, there are a number of people, maybe they've made some mistakes, but I don't ever hear that because, again, you can aim your mob at people in a way that will do real harm. No one should get into the YouTube game with fear that someone's going to come after their fucking family. Now, granted, there are times we have to talk about certain things, and people are going to act on regardless, especially if you have a very large community. So you just have to do the best you can to mitigate that harm. But this wasn't mitigating harm. This is disgusting. This is Destiny tier shit.
Oh, this is just lying outright.
I actually don't think Xander Hall has ever said going after someone in real life. I have not watched a lot of Xander Hall streams. I've watched some of them. I like Xan. He's a cutie. I'm a MILF. We get along. But the reality is that I don't think I've ever heard him do this except in the most extreme cases. I think this is appropriate when deplatforming conservatives and Nazis. Yeah, but if he's from Florida, he sleeps with an alligator, so it's a push. Moving on. But this is not the only thing going on here. Let me check what my next one in the line is, because we got more. Oh, this is an example of something said in chat. You can't see it, so I'm going to have to move it over. Ignore the yeen. Down here, the bottom, and this link will be in the chat, in the links. People like IRC are pushing that shit right now. See, where was it? Yes, for the state's CPS is on her Sondsol for child. Like, these people are asking for that to happen. I'll show you the new pictures in a minute. Moving on. Yes and yes. I'll tell you guys later. Like, this person, Killer Say, I don't know who this guy is, but they're an idiot. Like, they literally said here, why would you tell your 9-year-old about a guy who bullies you on the internet? Because you're afraid, and it's okay to share that with your kid. Are you unironically, like, dealing with sociopathy? Like, what's the issue?
Because some people actually, like, explain the situation. Oh, also didn't. And frankly, if you did need to explain it, like, again, sometimes actually just talking with your kid for realsies is a thing. Like, but also that didn't happen. Yeah, I'm reading from chat. So,
but see, this is where it gets further. This is where it goes further. So this would be, again, we've said this before. One time is an anomaly. 2 times is a coincidence. 3 times is a pattern. That'll come back up in a few weeks. But, anywho, this needs to stop. Someone who declares that they are xenogender but doesn't present any differently than their assigned gender at birth is appropriating trans identity to get attention online. There are so many things wrong with this, I don't even know where to start. Is this person on our... Is this a joke? Was there a /s missing? So let's talk about where this stuff... First off, you're cis, you don't get to say that. Full stop. I don't usually gatekeep, but when you're this stupid, I don't know what to do. Now, someone who declares they are xenogender but doesn't present... We don't owe you fucking presentation. Someone in our comments said that and said that we owed that presentation helps. It does. But the moment you're corrected, like with Ezra Miller, you may see Ezra Miller and go, that is a person of masculine persuasion. But the moment you hear their pronouns, you should just change that. This is not in any way appropriating trans identities in any way, shape, or form, because there is no appropriating trans identities. You are either cis or you are trans. In my book, I don't care if you are binary, non-binary, or xenogender. Zena and I have laid this down.
Oh, absolutely.
You are under the same umbrella. In as far as a political ideology, and as far as a notion of care, the needs, the things.
Right. Having access to, medical, emotional, mental health services, any of it.
Even if you believe that xenogenders, non-binary, and binary trans people are somehow different, which I think is fallacious and stupid, the reality of the fact is that all of those identities are important to people, but they all still fall under the same needs for care, for legislation, for medical, like, again, this
for
is
medical
just,
access, yeah.
Yeah. Prickly Dario, this is absolutely true scum thinking. So let's be super clear. This is by its nature transphobic.
Yep.
And unlike, Voosh or other people who have in the past, though they've come to our side on things, at least to some degree, have said that xenogender, being, misgendered xenogender people, can't talk, is less of an egregious thing than, say, with a binary or non-binary trans person. I disagree with this fully. We do not owe you identity. From YouTube chat, holy shit, how can this person be this wrong? Presentation doesn't have anything to do with identity. The way you think someone looks has nothing to do with the way the person there. Yeah. Zena presents somewhere androgynous to slight femme with often mask-presenting clothing. They're still trans mask.
Yep. Just because I'm not able to always dress a certain way does not mean that part of my gender isn't there.
Yeah, Spectrum, it's no different. And again, I only differentiate them because there's people that care about that differentiation. I will argue this to the ends that they are all in the same umbrella. If you are xenogender, you are trans. If you are binary, you are trans. If you're non-binary, you are trans. You don't have to take on that identity on a personal level, but as a political movement, as a group of people working together, no, we are all on the same fucking wavelength.
Absolutely.
Any belief otherwise is completely harmful. If you don't want to claim that identity, either because you have shame around it, you don't feel like you're valid enough, or because you want to gatekeep, the last one I think is stupid, but honestly, I think the other ones are probably things that need to be worked out in therapy, or stupid. The fact of the matter is that you're still politically under the same thing. If you're concerned about hormones, if you're concerned about presentation or identity, if you're concerned about the way people refer to you, no. So this was in response to this big xenogender discussion that happened with Lady Raincloud, I believe. And here were some of the responses from individuals. This is the galaxy brain takes from these intrepid souls.
Oh, this is gonna be ouch, isn't it?
Yeah. So the person that they were targeting for this is a lovely, feminine presenting individual.
Oh, content warnings for...
Oh, content warnings for violence.
Yeah.
I guess vamp bigotry? I'll go with that one. But, and transphobia. Just flat transphobia. And xenophobia. I'll go with both. So, there's a lovely person online who I believe uses either she, her, or vamps pronouns. They are vamp gender. They're femme presenting. Or excuse me. She or vamp is femme presenting. Gotta work on that one.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what? Vamp's hot. I'm just gonna put it out there. I think Celine's hot. I'm just gonna throw it out there. I think just hot. So here's the thing. And yet, doesn't follow us on Twitter. Weird. Anyway, this is the stuff these people are saying. Honestly, Celine should be thanking us for the garlic and wooden steak memes. It's the closest thing she'll ever get to having real social validation for her vampire identity. You're welcome.
That's bad. Nah.
So this is what Sondsol started up. Yeah. What Sondsol started, it's literally a hate campaign to threaten a xenogender person with memes about vampires. Yeah, Gayfesh says it's unironically the same stuff Gammy and Destiny did to Doe. And while I am not on the best terms with Doe right now, I will always push against this. The threats against Doe's life or the deer hunting jokes are absolutely inappropriate and should have completely banned their IPs from Twitter permanently. When you have escalated to this level of humor, these people shouldn't have accounts.
Yep.
So what else have these brilliant individuals said? Yes, it's a helpful construct for lenses of bimodal patterns of inclination in feminist analysis. Calling everything gender misses the point and discards awareness of and potential engagements of those things. It's transphobic, ambiphobic, naive, and anti-feminist noise. I don't know who this person is.
There's a lot of words there.
Yeah, this is word salad. This is essentially the same language TERFs would use. Oh, that's RGR's partner? That's unironically hilarious.
Or not. Oh, okay. Well, so that's not even
Let's
great.
break this down, because apparently RGR is dating somebody who has the intelligence of a 3-year-old.
Also, please don't go harass them.
Don't harass
Leave
anyone
the
here,
account alone.
I swear to God.
Don't go doing shit to the account. Like, don't.
I mean, to be fair, RGR probably wants someone she can, cognitively dominate. So this makes sense. Moving on. Yes, it's a helpful construct of lens of bimodal pattern of inclination and feminist analysis. I don't disagree, but again, gender as bimodal completely ignores the fact that there are genders outside of that. Your framing ignores agender individuals. Immediately off the top of the head, calling everything gender misses the point and discards awarenesses of and potential engagement with those things. But no one's calling everything gender. People are going internally, they are looking inside themselves, and they say, okay, I did a ping, and I go, I got an error. Or, instead of getting girl or boy or not, or both, I got bunny.
Or, I got, lack thereof, right?
Language, yeah. Or lack thereof, or some engagement with that. Gender, if this experience is within your... Yeah, but the use of bimodal here is absolutely inappropriate. What this is basically the same dumb argument Vosh made and then went back on because Doe corrected him, and we made a video and then he moved to our point but never acknowledged it, except making a joke. Anyway, still salty. Calling everything gender misses the point and discards awarenesses of and potential engagement with those things. Not true. I think gender is a metaphor. In the case of xenogenders, no one is saying they are a dog or a vampire or whatever. I don't believe I'm truly some fucking fey creature. What I do think is that when I go inside myself and I have more than enough of those abilities to make those kinds of introspections based on my background, far more than this incredibly dumb. The fact of the matter is that I look inside, and this is the best metaphor I have. The Fae are the best metaphor I have. My assumption is that by definition, Celine has done a similar internal check, a similar level of introspection, and said, and I quote, probably I go in there and what I find is kind of girly vampire, which, to be fair, is one of my favorite things. If I could sing the song, a few of my favorite things, this would be on my favorite things.
Right.
Sexy vampire girls are on the top of that list. We all saw that Scooby-Doo movie, right?
Yeah.
No one?
By
Okay.
the way, color is my extra gender there. Colorful.
Yeah,
So-
vampires are literally metaphors for tons of stuff. Sex, the aristocracies.
Yeah. But there's a lot of us that have like parts of those things, right?
So this idea that it calls it is misses the point. It does not miss the point. You're missing the point. This is what I mean by 3-year-old logic. Because you don't understand it, you think it's invalid. But that is the same way cis bigots think about trans people. They don't understand it, and so they think it's wrong or bad. Do you guys, do you see that? This is the same logic. It's the same gatekeeping, you just change out the words. And then last but not least, it's transphobic. No, it isn't. It's just not. Trans simply means other than your assigned gender at birth. That's it. That's all it is. Ambiphobic. I generally don't like the term ambiphobic unless we're really trying to get, nail down on terms. I just use transphobic for everything because everyone's under the trans umbrella in my mind. But if ambiphobic, no, it's not. This is literally embis. The thing that your girlfriend didn't actually really believe in and was been really weirdly dodgy about and had to be convinced to use they, them, or did you forget? Naive? No, not in the slightest. I like to trust that people are actually aware of themselves. And anti-feminist noise. This is literally turf logic. If you're calling people's gender non-conforming behavior anti-feminist noise, this is by definition turf logic. You are just doing radical feminism. Chat, am I right? Chat, am I wrong on this? Is this or is this not? Wreckage, she would use they, them, but to some degree, if you ask people that are in her community or people that dealt with it, she struggled with that a lot. Because she was a little true scummy. Let's move on. Next. Sondsol. After posting death threats to xenogenders for the good of all trans people as his body rises into the ether. And guess who retweeted this? Oh. Next. Not Sondsol, a literal Helsing. So, this person literally put on here to harass one xenogender. Oh, we can see it, Gayfesh. That is his Twitter banner very clearly. I'm sorry, Shalibity, you're going to have to edit a lot of stuff. This motherfucker literally made his banner. Vera Thoughty, thank you so much for the tier 1 sub. Made his banner an avatar of harassing a singular trans person. This is transphobia.
Yeah.
If these people can't see this, they are blind. Wear that grudge like a crown. Let's see what else we got. Okay, so I need some answers here. How do you treat someone who is vampire gender in society? How they want to be treated? If I'm using vamp culture as a proxy for this, how does that translate to gender? My answer for that would be talk to the person, ask how they want to be treated.
Yeah,
this is really easy.
Great, just talk to them.
Sonsol's answer was stake to the heart. Does this ugly bearded motherfucker think he's Blade?
It's great when people, make thinly veiled death threats at you. This is great.
Yeah, this is a death. This is
that's what
unironically pushing for death threats against a trans person. I know this stream is going to get demonetized, and that's fine. I'll have Shalibity edit the VOD, but come on, guys. This is the crap Destiny does. This is the crap that every reactionary who pretends to be at all liberal or left does. Because it's a joke.
Yeah, any kid who's ever been made fun of knows that this shit's not a joke.
True.
I don't care what the other person tries to say, calling it, and try to reframing it. No, it's not a joke, and it's not okay.
Let me be clear. Violence is something that is to be used only in the most absolute necessary situation. I'm not saying that political violence can't happen. I'm saying that I am going to be very choosy about when it happens. And making these kind of statements and directing a hate campaign towards a trans person is insane. Also, I gotta say this is a joke, and I'm just gonna put this real quick. Despite maybe some of our ideological differences, the Camarilla arc is still happening. I will explain what that is someday, maybe at the end of stream. And by the way, the Camarilla arc means vampires are genuinely cool and I like them. Just saying. So leave Celine alone, or I'm going to ask my community to report every single motherfucker that actually even remotely looks at her funny. I'm not joking. This is not okay. This is unironically shit that people did in the alt-right. This is literally 41% jokes. And I want to refer you back to the fact that this is the same guy, I assume he's a guy, same guy who also said that a trans woman let me add this, make sure I'm getting this correct, Lady Raincloud. A Native American trans woman, former vet, who deals with borderline personality disorder, should lose her child because she's concerned about legal oppression being validated and put into legislation in the state. Yeah, it's still me stolen value. Yeah, fuck with him isn't. I disagree with you. Jokes, yep, quotes, jokes. So it goes on. This disgusting individual, who is clearly not right with the world, then did this. Gayfesh, you said this is the right ticket? Right time period, right?
Oh, wait, is this going to get bad?
You might want to take your ear off, Kisses.
I mean, I'm okay. Just also, this gets bad.
Okay, trigger warning for possibly death, abuse, harm. Big content warnings for everyone. Do not watch this if this is something that's going to bother you. I'm really good. Transphobia, slurs, the works.
Yeah, like if this wasn't bad already, he keeps going.
How long is this? Fesh, how long is it? Is this towards the end, please? Or is this the whole shabam? About 24 tweets.
We might need to skip through some of these.
Let's listen for a second and then
we'll
I linked you where he started. Okay.
Okay.
Fuck, there's a lot of links. When you societally stunted societal rejects, don't understand what kind of person Gammy truly is. Back in January, when I was clubbing in Los Angeles.
By the way, the person he's reading is Zonia. This is a person who recently separated from a lot of the online left the union of moderators because she had a big hate boner against Fesh for literally no reason, other than Fesh kept calling out Gammy, a person who is demonstrably a 4chan meme.
Angeles. One night I left the dance club to get some air and peace when I heard a scream from across the street. I looked and saw a drag queen being chased out of a club by a mutant clownfish. The clownfish corralled her into a nearby alley. She cried out for help, but her cries were mostly drowned out by the sound from the mini.
So I'm going to stop that there. Instead of going with the whole trigger warning thing, I actually don't even know if this is safe for TOS. This is 24 tweets of essentially a fan fiction asking for the harm and potential termination of gay Fesh. And Fesh, I'm gonna not search through here because I have a feeling this is gonna be triggering for some people. Is it correct that this person afterwards made a 41% joke? Oh, content warning for what happens. Gammy, I'm gonna say this in the nice way. Gammy terminates me and I climax from it. I don't even care if you're otherkin or just xenogender. None of this shit matters. Like, this is just not okay. And again, I disagree with Fesh on some things. I don't want Fesh to come to harm. The idea that you would write a story, like, first off, this Zonia person is unhinged. The idea that this person thinks that is okay. There's some 41% jokes, slurs, mockery of anti-assimilationists. Didn't you show me the thing where him and his chat were trying to spell out the N-word? Hold on. Wasn't that a thing that happened too?
Oh, God. Oh, just...
Yeah. It's like the YMCA, but awful. Bruh, my say what? So Gammy, I don't know who that is, but they're probably awful. And then, honestly, Gammy, so horrible. I expected that, but da-da-da. And because this person... Wait, so these people came into this chat that were being talked about and just decided to start posting this stuff again. So, what do we got as counts there, folks? We have, one, the threat and statement that this person thinks that a trans woman should lose their child, a vet, someone who served for our country, someone who is absolutely, positively, someone who deals with a similar disorder as I am, that they should lose their kid. Ignoring the stigma that people with mental illness, as well as people who are transgender, deal with these systems. This is by definition, nonsense. This is utter insanity. And I say that with the full weight of my own fucking education behind it. This is crazy people talk. And I don't mean that in an ableist way, because I'm a crazy people too. Oh, fair enough, Wreckage. So, not only do we have the targeting a trans woman for the lulz, like this is 4chan circa 2008, but we have the targeting of a xenogender person, someone quite lovely. I've enjoyed their pictures. With vampire memes, similar in the line of thought of what was used against Doe. For those who care about us and our channel, I want you to consider that this would be the same thing if someone made a joke about me and wanted to...
Cold iron?
Yeah, say they were going to kill me with cold iron. Yes, Tiamat, we're going to hold off on that video. I'm going to put it in the links. People can watch it of their own accord. Yeah, they're alt-writers masquerading as lib allies. This is what I mean when I post on Twitter and say that there is a lot of people here who use the ideology and language of a progressive while acting and behaving as a reactionary. This is the shit that I talk about with spurious accusations, immediate assumptions of guilt, with all of the things that people do that come from the same line of thinking that reactionaries, that conservatives come from. You can sit there and talk about trans rights and anti-fascism and all this stuff all you want, but if your tactics, if your behavior demonstrably falls in the same category, you've just changed the window dressing. I go on. So not only did this person go after 2 trans people and then push their community to do a whole bunch of crazy stuff there, they read a fanfic on Twitter from another streamer named Zonia who stands Gammy, a trans woman who has been involved in harassment campaigns to try to get people to terminate themselves. And the reality of the situation is that then read this fanfic about the death of another content creator, someone who I enjoy and like talking to, and Zena does as well, our friend Gay Fesh, because they didn't like that Fesh disagreed with a story that is so obscene and disturbing that it makes the presumption that a literal stochastic terrorist who has tried to get people to self-terminate gets to off our dear fish friend and cause him to go out on a bang. This is... I don't know if we have to blurb that out. We may have to. But for those who don't know, you know what the word is. It starts with an S, ends with an F. Then, when reading this afterwards, went into a whole bunch of memes, including 41% memes, which we've talked about in this channel. It is woofing, but no one ever does crap about it. And then decided to spell out, you know, the N-word to harass other people. Do not interact with Sondsol. Block him. Do not in any way engage with him. I normally don't say this, but if you're a trans person or a fesh, you shouldn't interact with his content because it's harmful to you. In fact, also I'm offended she wasn't more creative in the story. If she wanted to call me a chaser, she could have dangled a doll of a trans girl as bait hook. Yeah, I mean, we could write better work. Zena could do it in 20 minutes. Good stuff. Like, if we're gonna do this, we put it back into it. Fuck.
Except I like being nice to people.
True.
There we are.
So, when these links get posted in the thing, I'm gonna be really clear. I think that they should be reported. I don't normally say that because I don't want to seem like I'm like, you know, brigading or doing any crappy stuff like that. But no, this is unironically threatening a friend of mine. You already reported that VOD. Good. Can you post that VOD in chat? Because I would like other people to do the same. This is insanity. You cannot call yourself a liberal or a leftist. You cannot say that you are a progressive and act in this format. What these people are is reactionaries. Oh, Sondsol makes sure to play copyright music during the points where he talks about Fesh and I, so the VOD is muted. He's also disabled clips.
Damn.
Coward. Holy crap. Like, his spine is made of jello. There's a part of the VOD where he talks about you for at least 3 minutes muted at least. Plus there's a literal slur on the screen. Yep. Spectacular Schneiderman, absolutely. Beta. Beta. Andrew England said in YouTube chat, I wanted to ask about that as well. How do you enforce that law? I've seen many people who casually say things about self-term, but I don't know how to actually see. That's the problem is that there's not really a good way to enforce it. To me, it would be that you report Gammy's account the moment you see any of this stuff. This is what the trans community does every time we see like someone post, trans people posting L's or people that want to do the trans do they pass stuff. Every time these idiots make a new account trying to harass us, we just screenshot their page, block them, post them, and tell everybody to report them. No different.
If you are in need of legal action, you're definitely going to want to find a lawyer on some of this stuff. That's the best that I've got for you.
Another time, Lady Raincloud. We don't have time tonight, but I appreciate you being willing to. We'll see if we can set something up in the future. I've seen Kevin Logan debate Sondsol on his defense of Destiny and his own transphobia on Twitter, and he constantly weasels his way out of it, answering for himself. Sonsol's a coward. True. I mean, that's just true about the fact that he doesn't allow clips. Yeah, Twitter support doesn't do anything unless you get enough reports. Just report the hell out of them. The fact is like, again, these people are, by all rights, the alt-right. They're just doing the same reactionary stuff. They're just feigning progressivism. Anyone that would gatekeep and attack someone like Celine or Fesh or all that, and I'm not saying Fesh can't get spicy on main. Fesh can get spicy on main. But when you've escalated to the point where you're reading gross fanfic by a woman who's acting obsessive because she's standing a woman who actively goes out of her way to harass any trans person she doesn't think is valid because Daddy Destiny says to, that's really f***ed.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
The reality here is that this behavior cannot be tolerated. If you're a fan of Sondsol, go away. I'm not joking. Go away. There are only so many communities that I will block from, right? Even though we had a blowing out with, say, Doe and DM. We still let them in. Still let their communities in. They're fine. We don't block other people, such as, God, who have we had beefs with? I don't think we've ever gotten on anyone's case for any group whatsoever. I don't think we've even gone after DGGers. We try to give everyone a fair shake. We try to be as absolutely 100% fair to people as we can be.
Oh yeah, no. You at least let people mess up,
And I don't want to treat people shit for the content creators that they like. They're allowed to like them. My goal is to make better arguments than them.
Hell, we try to be really chill about that stuff on our server too. Like, we try really hard not to have an atmosphere where like you have to be afraid of bringing up a content creator for reasons.
But this is one of those times where I'm going to say it. Much like Destiny, anyone that is a Destiny orbiter, by definition, should be avoided. You're not going to get good arguments here. Is this behavior going to win us more trans rights? Is their behavior actually going to actively help trans liberation? No. It's just shit posting and bigotry. Leave the Fesh alone. Fesh doesn't seem to start fights, as far as I can tell. Fesh tends to get into fights when Fesh sees people that Fesh cares about and wants to protect them. And sometimes I disagree with Fesh, and that's okay. I tell Fesh directly in DMs or in Discord. I love the Fesh. It's fine. We have that relationship. But the reality is this is nonsense. The reality of the situation is, leave Celine alone. Celine is perfectly valid. I will fucking fight you. Yeah, because he went after Keffels? God damn. Keffels' name sounds like a Muppet. Leave her alone.
Right?
Every time I hear Keffels, I think of a Muppet. Congratulations, Via Pam, for coming out to your dad. Congratulations. That's amazing.
Oh, holy crap. Nice.
Can we get, what'd you come out as? Via Pam, what'd you come out as? I'm gonna leave this in the VOD. What'd you come out as? Gay?
Nice.
We're both gay, so, yeah, we'll do, do my hypers, whatever they're called. I can't remember if it's J hypers or hypers J. I did yours earlier.
Oh, okay. Got it.
It's J hypers. J hypers, people. Keep going. We can do it. Get to 10. 11. Do I hear 50? Oh! Weaver broke it.
Oh.
It's J hypers. Just click on the thing. Don't type them out. You're being weird. If you don't know what it specifically is, click on the button. There's buttons. Anyway, point being is this. This is, by definition, harassment.
Mm-hmm.
I don't agree with Lady Raincloud on everything. I don't agree with Celine on everything. I don't agree with Fesh on everything. I don't think harassment is ever okay.
Yep.
Zena does not think harassment is ever okay. We have been very clear about this on this channel.
By the way, everything Jess is saying, totally here for what Zena's saying too. Like, I just have a migraine today, that's all. But yeah, no, there is absolutely a line here. Like, I don't care how much I hate people. Like, there's still people. There's still just a line of how you treat people. God damn it, it is not that fucking hard.
Fiat Pam, you're part of our community. We love you.
Oh, absolutely.
Congratulations on coming out and being a super gay. Super gay. So here's the thing. Any Destiny Orbiter who's going to act abusively on main, who's going to recurringly go after people, I can say this real flat out. This is the same type of abuse cycle that we used as analogy for Destiny. And the fact that this person actively defends Destiny tells me that they come from the same cut cloth. I struggle with mean girl tendencies. I used to be a pretty shitty person before I was leftist. Yeah, a lot of us do, but we try to grow from it. We work on it. So yeah, here's the thing. Final thought on this. If you happen to be on Twitter, send Celine some love. If someone wants to post Celine's profile, send her love from our community, please. Mm-hmm. Someone wants to post her Twitter account, Vamp's Twitter account. Spectacular Schneiderman, thank you so much for the gifted tier 1 sub to Viet Pam.
Oh, thank you. That's cool.
If you happen to be on Twitter, if someone can post Lady Raidencloud's Twitter, send her some love. She didn't deserve this. Mm-hmm. And if someone can post Fesh's Twitter, please, for the love of God, go send the Fesh some love. Jocelyn, you're cool. You be here when you can.
Right?
There's the Fesh. Can someone post the other ones, please? In chats, both chats. There we go. Can someone post Celine's? No harassment. This is all sending love. Be nice. Be respectful. These people did not deserve this. There's Celine. Hunting _for_more. Nice. Go send these people love. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I'm sorry, I'm reading YouTube chat. Rebecca Soul West says, it sounds like there's a history of conversations between Sondsol and Raincloud. Yeah, and there's probably videos to do that. Lady Raincloud, if there's a history of interactions between the two of you, if you would like to provide some videos, or you think there are videos where they are fair to both of you, please feel free to put them in our content suggestions. People can get them there. Carl, I know, Team Adam, I'm not supposed to be in there, but it's like right there. The goal here is not to say, don't engage to the point where you don't look at the data. Look at the videos. See the stuff these people do. You want to make sure that the context is correct? Then do that. But the reality of the situation is, and it always is, no one should escalate like this. Ever. We have better tactics.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And with that said, we will see you in the next one.
Yeah.
If you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. Also, consider donating to us. You can support us on our website, transgirltherapist.org. You can also help us on our Patreon, link below, or you can become a member here on YouTube. Thank you so much for watching.